Hi, this is Rob Leo, and in this tutorial we're going to take a look at a tool called Pear, which lets you take a slide presentation and make it more interactive. Nearpod is a very similar tool. I'm here at peardeck.com, and what I'd like to do is just kind of give you a little overview of the interface before we get started, and then I'm going to start to build a slide presentation that I can deliver with students and get some feedback from them. Just so you know, I have a premium account. If you land here at peardeck.com, you can look at the different features that Pear has available. I have a web link to get a premium account for free if you're interested. Please let me know. There are about 189 opportunities left, so plenty to go around for now, but you never know when those are going to go away. You can look at some examples of what other people have done just to get inspired, perhaps. They have them sorted by subject area. The pricing scheme shows you the breakdown of the free account versus the premium account. Premium does cost $149 a year, but like I said, I have a free premium account that you're welcome to take advantage of. One of the nice things about premium that I really like, that has more question types, including draggable and drawing questions. Of course, in Nearpod, the drawing questions are part of the basic account, not so in Pear Deck. The draggable questions are really an outstanding tool to gauge student understanding and ask some questions on the fly. You also have a great support page. So if you're interested in learning more, you can look at the resources they have here, whether it's documentation, video tutorials, etc. They have a blog, a knowledge base, and a contact us section. We're going to dive right in though with a login, and we're going to connect as a teacher with our Google account. I'm just going to select the school account. And from there, you're going to be confronted with the ability to create your first Pear Deck. So to get started, if I just click the New button, alternatively, I could click Open and bring a slide presentation in from my Google Drive. But clicking New, I'm going to make a new slide deck. And for my first slide, I'm just going to gauge students' understanding of the topic before I even import my slides from Google. Notice I can add one from scratch, or I can import a PowerPoint, Google presentation, PDF, or even another Pear Deck slide deck. So let's just click Add Slide. I'm going to ask a question in the title. What do you know about the rise of Islam? Notice this is a normal slide, meaning if I want to deliver content to students, I certainly could, but I want to make this an interactive slide. If it was a normal slide like PowerPoint, I could add an image, I could add a text box, I could make a list, or I can even add a YouTube video. But again, I don't want to deliver content, I want to get feedback. So instead of a normal slide, I'm going to change this to a free response text slide. And now I can select whether I want paragraph text or short text. But I'm pretty satisfied with that. What I want to do next is import my entire Google Slides presentation that I have on this topic. So with the menu, I'm simply going to go to Import Slides, and I'm going to locate the Google Slides presentation I already have. Just give that a double click. This is about 30 some odd slides long. I will tidy it up right here in Pear Deck. It's telling me it has lots of stuff. So it's going to read my file, pull it into Pear Deck, and it may take a moment or two. So I'm going to pause the recorder on this, and I'm going to turn it back on once all the slides have been uploaded. I'll be right back. All right, that took about 30 seconds or so, but now notice all of my slides have been imported into the presentation. And I don't need all these slides. I'm going to clean some of this up. If I was better organized, I would have prepared the slide deck ahead of time back in Google Slides, but that's all right. You want to notice that you can just delete with the X. If you click the triangle, it allows you to either remove or duplicate a slide. Now that my slide deck is cleaned up, I'm going to take a few of these slides themselves and make them a little more interactive. For example, I have a piece of art. Notice that the face of Muhammad is covered. And in the course of my lecture, what I might do is kind of explain some things. But I'm hoping the students will have done some homework ahead of time. And again, I'm going to ask another question of this slide. So instead of just being a normal slide, we will add a free response text to it. And verbally, I might ask the students to ponder why they think that the face of Muhammad is covered. Or I could even do that with the title. And if I'm satisfied with the question I've asked, I can move on to the rest of my lesson. Again, as I lecture, what I may want to do is simply have the students consume some content. So a slide like this, where I'm simply lecturing and kind of giving information to the students. What I might also do is ask students to do some other stuff. So for example, if I wanted to add a new slide, let's say we start talking about the 5 pillars of Islam. One of the things I can do is add a blank slide. And again, let's make this a different type of slide rather than normal. Let's make this a multiple choice slide. And maybe I want to ask something about the 5 pillars of Islam. You'll notice the student preview is building, so my question will appear front and center, and I just need to set up my answer choices. Doesn't look like I can set up a key ahead of time, but nonetheless, I can ask some multiple choice questions, engage the class on their understanding of that which I've lectured about. As I move on, let me just add another slide here. And by the way, these you can always move these and reorder them. But let me ask another slide. This time I want to ask one that has an image. Do an image search to this particular slide. Type in Rise of Islam. Select this blank map. So I could use this as a normal slide. I could make it a multiple choice slide. Just make sure you understand what you are sharing with the students, what type of slide you're sharing with the students. I actually want the students to locate the Arabian Peninsula, and I could do a freehand draw where they circle it, but I do want to show you the draggable slide feature. Again, this is part of the premium package. Let's just make this stand out a little bit as, let's make it green. I could change the symbol. A dot works for me. I could make it a star if I'd like to. Or you could potentially use a variety of symbols from the library of tools that they have here. I'm going to use this compass wheel as an example. There are other types of draggable questions. You could have just a question on the fly. You could have a graphing grid with a horizontal and vertical axis. You could have an agree or disagree question where students drag the dot to either side. You could have a thumbs up or some thumbs down in a similar way, gauge for understanding, or you could add your own image. I've already done that. And again, with the student preview, I can see that the map will be what the students see. Again, I can reorder this. I think you pretty much get the idea. You have your slide deck. You can make your own slides from scratch. You could make different types of slides, whether they're multiple choice, drawing, draggable questions, or free response with either text or numbers. You can have a website act as a slide. Toward the end of this, one last thing I'm going to add before I present this. Let me just delete this one. I'm going to ask, I'm just going to gauge for understanding. I'm going to say, do you think you understand? More detailed than that for the sake of time, but let's make this a thumbs up or thumbs down question with a draggable dot. When I come back, we're going to start presenting, and you'll see what this looks like from the student point of view as well as the teacher point of view while we present. Thanks for listening, and I hope you found this useful.